Hi guys, it's me, and I'm standing up today because I'm so excited about this topic. This video is for people like me.
A social media influencer gives the world an insight on her marriage, life, and career, but things are not always what they seem to be. This is the story of Alexis Sharkey. Alexis was born on February 6, 1994 in Warren County, Pennsylvania. She would graduate from the University of Pittsburgh with a major in biology, hoping to one day go to medical school. She moved to Houston in 2019 where she met her husband, Thomas Sharkey. And there, she became a social media influencer. But despite her social media displaying cute pictures and quirky captions of the union, the marriage was plagued with trouble and domestic violence. The couple would separate, with Alexis requesting a divorce despite Thomas wanting the marriage to work. On November 26, Alexis would spend her Thanksgiving Day with her husband and then have dinner with friends. That would be the last time she was seen. After failed attempts to get in touch with Alexis, her family and friends became concerned. Her husband, however, never filed a missing persons report. It was only after a friend filed the report that police went looking. Tanya Ricardo would recount the last time she saw Alexis.
She was actually at my house on Thanksgiving. We spent Thanksgiving together with my family. We had made plans Friday to get together Saturday, and the last time I spoke to her was Friday around 6 o'clock.
Tanya followed up with a group text Saturday morning.
Alexis would have been the first person to respond.
But no texts from the 26-year-old and no posts on social media.
When we realized that her social media was not active for over 12 hours, we were like, okay, this is not right.
Tanya would further explain that she went to Alexis' apartment looking for her. After not finding her, she was the one who filed the missing persons report.
I went to her apartment, knocked on her door.
When no one answered, Tanya called police. Friends filed this missing persons report Saturday afternoon, not knowing that hours earlier, just 3 miles west of her apartment, Alexis Sharkey was found dead.
A Houston public worker would discover Alexis' body in the 1000 block of Red Hall near the Katy Freeway and Eldridge Parkway. She was discovered nude with her feet sticking out of the bushes. The city employee who found Alexis would give his account to the local news station.
For John Richardson, it's a Saturday morning he'll never forget.
It plays back in my head. You know, it's been playing back in my head every day.
He was at work for the City of Houston Solid Waste when Richardson says he got a call from an employee.
He said he thought he seen a body or a mannequin, so he wasn't for sure. He wasn't gonna stop because he was kind of, he was scared or whatever case may be. So he asked me to come out there and check it out.
So as his supervisor, Richardson went to check it out and still can't believe what they found.
So as we was driving, we could see the feet. So we got out and looked, and there it was. She was laying there, deceased. She was with no clothes on, and I just got on the phone and I called 911.
What Richardson didn't realize at the time, the body he had just discovered was 26-year-old Alexis Sharkey.
The cause of death was not known at the time, but Alexis' mother immediately suspected murder. Even Alexis' friends stated how fearful Alexis had been lately. While no one said Thomas was the killer, it seemed that they all alluded to it. Alexis' husband Thomas would go on his social media to mourn his wife's death. He would state how she was his one and only. He also cooperated with police officers. During this time, Thomas would move to Georgia. Finally, after 7 weeks, the cause of Alexis' death was determined.
There are new developments in the death of a popular social media blogger, Alexis Sharkey. An autopsy reveals she was strangled.
Thomas would then speak to ABC 13 about his feelings since his wife died.
Eric, right now Alexis's husband, Tom Sharkey, tells us that he's working with HPD homicide detectives, giving them access to anything they want, turning over emails, messages, and phone records. We had a 6-minute conversation today where he told me that following his wife's death and disappearance, he has started to receive death threats. He sounded emotionally distraught and very upset. Alexis's husband, Tom, seen in pictures on her Instagram and on his Facebook profile, told me today he's now receiving death threats. Tom Sharkey says she wasn't always the happy person seen online. She was stressed. Quote, "Sir, my wife was an amazing woman. She really was. There's always other sides to everything. I was the one holding her, cuddling her, and building her back up." End quote. In the phone conversation, which felt disjointed at times, Tom Sharkey said he finally found Alexis. Quote, "Everybody was still looking for her, and I located her Sunday morning in the coroner's office. They couldn't ID my wife. They didn't know who she was. She was just there." End quote. When asked for more specifics and details, Sharkey abruptly ended the conversation, saying, quote, I'm sorry. I'm not a jerk. I'm just destroyed." End quote. In that conversation that we had with Tom Sharkey, he described the marriage between the two as happy, calling her his life partner. He said they were not filing for divorce. He also says that he is confident that Houston police can figure this out and, quote, find everyone that was involved, end quote.
There was some back and forth between Alexis's family and Thomas. Thomas wanted Alexis buried in Houston, but her family wanted her buried in Pennsylvania, where she was born. Being that Thomas was the next of kin, the family could not do anything but wait. After 2 weeks, Thomas still did not claim Alexis' body, and the family was granted the right to give her a proper burial. Alexis' family and friends will hold a private viewing. Her husband was not invited. As time went on, investigators became leery of Thomas due to inconsistent comments and other evidence that they have not released. He eventually not only became a suspect, but their only suspect, and an arrest warrant was taken out for Thomas on September 29, 2021. However, authorities could not locate Thomas. They looked in Houston, they looked in Georgia, but they had no way of finding him. The U.S. Marshals got involved and eventually located him in Fort Myers, Florida, the home of his daughter. On September 5th, U.S. Marshals went to the home of Thomas's daughter to serve him with the arrest warrant. Thomas then went inside of a bedroom closet and shot himself in the head. He was pronounced dead at the scene.
The husband, wanted in the death of a social media influencer in Houston, was found dead Tuesday in Fort Myers, Florida. HPD says Tom Sharkey was wanted for the murder of Alexis Sharkey. U.S. Marshals were about to arrest the husband at the Florida home, but say he took his own life just moments before they could arrest him.
My name is Michael Burrow. I am a sergeant with the HPD Homicide Division, and I'm here to provide you guys with an update on the investigation into the murder of Alexis Sharkey from last year. This was a lengthy investigation. Our evidence determined that Ms. Sharkey was killed on the night of November 27th, 2020. Her body was found the following morning. The investigation determined that Thomas Sharkey, her husband, is the only person who had the means, motive, and opportunity to have committed the murder. We were able to eliminate other suspects that came up, some of which were brought up by Mr. Sharkey. We established that there was a history of domestic violence between the two of them, and that the relationship was ending, and that there was a pending divorce. There was also clear evidence that Thomas Sharkey had not been truthful about several key issues and statements that he made to police. Over time, we were able to develop enough evidence to have probable cause to get an arrest warrant and to charge him with her murder. An arrest warrant was obtained for Thomas Sharkey on September 29th, 2021. Because of the high-profile nature of the case and because Mr. Sharkey had been evasive with us throughout much of our time, We went very quietly about obtaining the arrest warrant, but the intent was, once he was arrested, to formally charge him in Harris County with her murder. We contacted the Gulf Coast Violent Offenders Task Force to assist us in locating Mr. Sharkey. They developed leads that he was located in Fort Myers, Florida, and they contacted the Marshals Fugitive Task Force in that area. That task force of U.S. Marshals located Mr. Sharkey staying with a relative in Fort Myers at approximately 10 p.m. last night. They were able to make contact and establish that he was inside the residence. Mr. Sharkey avoided them, ran upstairs when he learned that law enforcement was there for him, and he took his own life using a firearm.
Alexis' mom, Stacy, would take a moment to talk about her daughter and say how smart she was.
Stacy Robinall says her 26-year-old daughter was more than just the social media influencer people followed online.
She was very smart and very driven. She graduated summa cum laude with a biology degree, and she was a smart cookie.
This is all so tragic, and some people just can't take no for an answer. They like the feeling of control over individuals because they have no control in their own lives. Or maybe they have low self-esteem, or maybe it's both. But if you find yourself in this situation, please seek help. Please get out sooner rather than later. And also keep in mind that these perfect lives you see on social media could be covering up hurt, pain, and trauma. May Alexis rest in peace.